It was a Saturday, the kind of shift you brace for but can never truly be ready for. I was on call in the internal medicine emergency unit. The air was thick with anticipation, and the hospital halls had that eerie quiet that usually comes before a storm. The first patient rolled in just after 8 p.m., unresponsive, gasping, drenched in sweat. The diagnosis wasn't clear, yet when more were wheeled in, for young men, all vomiting blood, groaning, their eyes rolling back. 2 were already unconscious. That's when we learned it was a case of mass poisoning. They had all consumed a local herbal concoction, believing it would give them energy after work. The vendor who sold it had vanished. We were understaffed. Just 2 nurses, 1 lab technician, and me. My fellow doctor was delayed, and the calls kept coming. By 9 p.m., 3 more victims of the poisoning arrived, 1 DOA. I checked for a pulse even though I already knew. I still remember how cold his skin felt, how heavy his arm was when I let it go. And then the cascade began. An elderly man with uncontrolled diabetes crashed. A hypertensive patient convulsed and coded. A mother of 3 came in gasping, her lungs already drowning. A dialysis patient collapsed from severe electrolyte imbalance. Another young man with hepatitis spiraled into shock. One by one, they slipped away. 7 deaths. In one night, I was charting death notes with trembling hands. By midnight, I had forgotten what silence sounded like. Only the beeping monitors, alarms, and families wailing remained. But what broke me wasn't just the numbers. It was the young woman with the seizure. 32. She had aspirated and gone into cardiac arrest. We intubated her late. Too late. After she flatlined, her husband kept calling her name. Like if he just said it loud enough, she'd wake up. He turned to me, eyes red, voice broken. She was fine yesterday, just tired. I begged her to rest. You people are doctors. How did she die in your hands? I had no answer. At 4 a.m., I stood in the hallway, covered in blood, sweat, and sorrow. A cleaner passed by and froze, tears in her eyes. You look like a war survivor, she whispered. I didn't respond. I just stood there, not moving, numb. But as the sun rose, something stirred in me. A burning ache. Not from defeat, but from conviction. Because in the middle of that hell, I still tried. With shaking hands and a depleted team, we still fought. And while we lost 7, we saved others. We gave some a second chance, because we didn't stop when the odds turned against us. Medicine isn't always about miracles. It's about presence. Showing up even when you know death might still win. Fighting anyway. Standing in the gap between life and loss. That night I broke. But from that breaking, I found something else. Purpose. Not to save everyone, but to never let anyone die alone. To be the last voice they hear. The last hand they feel. To bear witness to suffering, to resilience, to humanity. That was the worst call of my life. But it's also why I'll keep showing up. Even when I'm scared too. Even when I know death is already in the room. Because sometimes just showing up is everything. For more real-life confessions, click the playlist and hit subscribe. Got a story to share? Send it to us. Because every story deserves a heartbeat.